Thank you very much. So the Rural Electrification Agency, as you rightly said, has the mandate of providing electricity to unserved and underserved communities. And we do that by providing distributed renewable energy to these communities. And the reason being for that, it's very strategic. Strategic in the sense that so the cost of building the national grid, right, from where the generation sources are to these rural communities is very expensive. And I give you the rule of thumb. For example, it costs $1.5 million to build just 1 kilometer of transmission line. And in these rural communities, their uptake is very low, most of the time less than 1 megawatt. So it becomes now strategic to find the most efficient and economic means of powering these rural communities. And the second reason why it's strategic is that we have the abundance of these renewable energies. We have the solar radiation, we have the mini grids, we have the small and micro dams, we have the biomass, we have the winds, all the renewable sources needed to generate this electricity to provide these rural communities. So that is why now the decision of the federal government is the Rural Electrification Agency should go through the means of providing distributed means, distributed renewable energy to power these rural communities. So we don't rely on the national grid. We go to these rural communities, put out the generation plant, build the distribution network within this community and power the communities. So you don't have to extend the national grid from the main source down to these rural communities. So that is what we do. And at the moment, we are implementing our project in different phases. We have the Rural Electrification Fund, which is a fund being financed by the Electrification Act, right? We normally get this funding from the market, the electricity market. So the Act provided that in an event where the regulator impose fines or levies in the electricity market, or the excess revenue, a certain percentage of the excess revenue of the regulator should come to this fund to be used to electrify the rural communities. So that is one source of funding that we do, and we implement projects for that.
How much have you gotten in the fund now?
So far, as at today, we have close to 6 billion naira that we are using for this electrification.
Is there a target?
And do that. Yes, so there is no target for imposing levies, exactly, okay. Right?
But could you give us a picture, all of these phases? What is it that you want to achieve? What are the targets for each phase?
And that is why, like I said, there are different projects. So, for example, there is a new project that we are starting the next month called the Distributed Renewable Energy Scale-Up Project, which is a $750 million financed by the World Bank. The target of that project is to electrify 17.5 million Nigerians. And I must say that this is one of the most ambitious projects in the world. Based on my understanding, apart from India that had moved many unelectrified people to having electricity access, there is no any other country that has an ambitious project like this. So this is a project that we are starting. The target is to electrify 17.5 million Nigerians, 30 million of them through isolated mini grids, 1.5 million Nigerians using interconnected mini grids, 12 million Nigerians who will electrify them using mesh grid and solar standalone system. So that is one project with its own target. Then there is the capital project, which is the yearly budget that we get from the National Assembly year in, year out. That one, we have no target. It depends on what we get from the federal government, and that is what we implement. Then the Rural Electrification Fund, the one that I spoke about earlier, it's also contingent upon the resources that we have. Like I told you, we have the sources, two different sources of funding. But the Act also provides us to enter into bilateral negotiation or to seek for grants or even investment under the Rural Electrification Fund to continue to electrify the Nigerians. So it depends on which of the projects that's for you to understand the targets.